Hello, Biblionauts. Today I wanted to bring back one subject, the subject of annotating, a very flammable subject. I don't want to bring back old conversations, but I want to talk about one specific thing. We already know that you should annotate for multiple reasons. You will engage more with what you're reading. You will allow for a more interactive reaction conversation with the book, and even with people who read it before if they also annotated. And that conversation will go on through time, right? You will be able to go back to the books you read and see what you thought, and like even retrospectively answer questions that you had there. You will also train your eye to see different things in the book that you would not if you did not give them the time and attention. And even like biomechanic, dynamic interaction of actually writing or doing something when it comes to that thing that you're annotating about, whether it's circling a passage that you liked, or a sentence that made special sense or felt especially poetic, or whether it's like refuting a certain premise on an argument in a non-fiction book. I've heard other arguments against annotating, in the sense like, for example, Jared Henderson said that annotating can make you a slower reader, which is the opposite of what like we normally, people who agrees with or promotes annotating says, which is partially true, that annotating can make you a slower reader, in the sense that if you like annotating as much as I do, with certain books you might take too long, or you might annotate too much and spend too much time on a page. It certainly happens to me with philosophy books that I love, especially, where like not only do I annotate on the sides, but I kind of break down the arguments so that I could almost read the whole book, or like a whole summary broken down of the book, because philosophers are so obscure, through the margins of where the annotations are left on the sides, as opposed to the actual book. So that I don't have to, like, if I want to go back to a certain chapter on like the phenomenology of spirit right now, that's the read-down that I'm doing, I don't have to reread like, I don't know, the 10 different pages that he took to say an argument that he could have said in 10 lines. Instead, I have 10 lines throughout those 10 pages that lead me through the whole thing without the unnecessary justifications. That being said, this, as I said, is not I mean, I do not agree with that completely, because, as I said, because you interact more with the book, although you might be slower while you're reading, the fact that you're annotating will make you want to return more as well. So you will spend more time reading. So overall, I still think that annotating makes you also a faster reader in that sense. Not faster in the sense of like the reading action, you will take longer in a book maybe, but faster in the sense that like you will be returning to the book more. You will enjoy more the experience, and it should be about that more than anything else. But if you are going to annotate, if you are not going to annotate, if you are against annotations, you've left me on the first premise. But if you are pro-annotating, you should annotate with a pen, not with a pencil. I find people who is pro-annotating but annotates with pencil, how do I say this? A little bit cowardly, a little bit like indecisive. It's like, I want to be here but also there. I don't really know, I'm black or white, let's say gray. I can empathize in certain ways with that. Sometimes I'm a centrist, but with you need to have your ideas clear. And the premises, the reasons that you give for annotating to other people, all point at a pen as being the ideal tool, not a pencil. Unless, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a category like agnostics, basically. Pencil annotators are agnostics. They don't want to commit. They don't want to be like, oh no, what if God exists? I don't want to, like, end up in hell because I said that he doesn't exist. But also, what if it doesn't? Like, I think most likely it doesn't exist. But if it does, like, either it does or it doesn't. And you have enough evidence to have enough faith or whatever to have an answer to that. Either you do believe or you don't. If you believe, then you are a theist, and if you don't believe, you're an atheist. An agnostic is just someone who doesn't want to commit to an idea, and you kind of need to commit sometimes. And when it comes to annotating, you have all the information that you need. If you agree with the premises I gave before, which if you are for annotating, you probably do, then you should be annotating with a pen, because because first of all, pencils it's harder to annotate with a pencil than with a pen. I think we can agree with that. Writing on a pen is easier if you have functional, like proper pen. This is like a normal big pen, but any pen that works would do, and it would be better than a pencil. Pencils, you can like how you say, the tip can break. They also run out of usage faster. You need a rubber, and they are dirty. You can pencils are dirty. They can get like all over the page when you close the pages for a long time. The carbon of the pencil can like get all over the pages, and it's not nice. And most importantly, and this is the main reason why I choose to annotate with a pen as opposed to with a pencil, is because this is permanent. This is not permanent. I don't know for how long you having a reader. If you're in booktube, chances are that you are older than I am. As far as I've seen, the booktube community, at least of people who makes videos, is far older than I am. You should know this better than I do if that is the case. If not, then you will find out eventually that pencil drawings or words or any, this runs out so easy. It takes only a few years. In a few years, whatever you annotated in your book will be gone. This doesn't. If you've read Moby Dick and you loved Moby Dick and you annotated the sides and you want to someday, maybe in 10 years when you've read everything else that is on your TBR, to return to Moby Dick and see what you wrote, or you want like, if you're older and you have like kids and you want them to read your annotations on the sides because you know they love it just like you would love to read the annotations of your grandparents or something, this is the thing that's gonna get your annotations through time the longest, both for you, for functionality, in terms of cleanliness, in every single way, really. Like a pencil is just, for this specific action, for annotating, a pencil is a lesser tool. It has one pro, and that is that you can erase what you annotate. But I'm against erasing what you annotate. If you wrote something that is wrong or you disagree with something, what I do when I return to a book is I get a different pen color. I normally get a black pen. Black pen is the pen I can tend to use when I return to a page. When I'm returning to a previous reading, I use a black pen, and that's how I know whether I annotated that on the first read or on the second read. But I am not for erasing what you annotate. I think it's just like lack of commitment when it comes to what you think. There's enough space in books, and with pens you can also write with smaller letters, with smaller typography than with pencils. You don't have to be sharpening the pen all the fucking time. You can write a lot in a book if you have a pen, and you don't want to be erasing your annotations. You don't want to be, in my opinion, you should be looking at them and retrospectively correcting them if they're wrong. I do stand by what I'm saying. I have annotations in books that, a different person, a different kind of person with a different kind of mentality would be ashamed of showing or giving to other people. Like I have books that I give to people, and they have annotations for like 5-6 years ago where what I wrote is something that like would make me look really badly now. Even like from correcting something that I, with complete like narcissism, as if I was completely right and the writer was wrong, and then finding out that I was actually completely wrong and the writer was completely right, to just like silly personal things that I wrote on the sides that I was like, maybe I don't want that to be on my book or something like that. Anything, or just like underlining a sentence that afterwards I think is shit. I don't care. That is, and this is something that we tend to do a lot. I feel like, especially people in the social media, they tend to start deleting things that they posted in the past. And I never understood that. I'm the opposite of a person that like embraces regret. I've done many things in my life that could be, like many people would be ashamed of doing. Like I've worked in the porn industry, right? And I never worried about like whether or not my employers would find out or not. Once it happened, and I was like, that's my personal life, none of your business, that's it. Like I don't have, and I think it's very freeing when you don't have that sense of accountability over what, over who you were, over what you did. Doesn't make any sense. I have tattoos on my body. I have many tattoos. And I'd say that a good 30% of the tattoos I have on my body are tattoos that don't represent me anymore. I would never tattoo some of the things that I have on my body. I don't want them out. They represented me when I put them there. And nothing is forever anyways. Like, if people who say tattoos are forever, it's like, no, your skin is not forever. neither are your tattoos, and neither is this pen. But what you write with this pen will be something that you stand by, something that you actually mean and that you will want to be returning to. And if it's returning to find out how silly it is, then you will be able to laugh at your past self and be like, yes, I thought that, I was that. You don't have to erase it. This is turning into like a little bit of a philosophical subject, but this is my thoughts. I think you should annotate with pen, not pencil. And that is all I'm gonna say. I'll link in the description as many annotating videos that I've seen in the last couple of days or weeks or months as I can, and I recommend it all. And yeah, like that's all. Thank you, Booktube. Let me know what you think on maybe a video or in the comments. Up to you. See you on the other side.